What is happening? Oh, okay.
Good.
Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to episode number 3 of Aced. Today is our playoff roundtable with my guests who have led their teams to the first round byes, and that is Chad, Silent K Hines. We got BD, we got Connor, Filthy Peasants. We have Cassidy, of course. Ohana means family. And then we have some shitter captain who has to play in the first round, Mikey. He's coming to join us tonight as well, like he always does. So first and foremost, congratulations to you guys on getting your first round buys. That's one step closer to free RP, which is always beautiful. And thank you for joining me tonight. That's about it for the intro. I just want you guys to know who they are. I see text over Cassidy's head, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so we just want to get into the show today. We got a big show for you guys today. We have the last power rankings of the year, Mikey's power rankings, that is. We have the playoff picture almost completely set. There's only one more game that needs to be played, and we're gonna give you some playoff predictions. Players you should be looking forward to seeing in this playoffs. We got a lot of great players in this split, so stay for that. And then, of course, as always, we're going to answer your Twitch questions at the end. There's a lot of us, so we'll answer a lot of questions. So without further ado, you guys have anything else to say before we start the power rankings? No? Okay.
No, we're good.
Alright, stop drawing on him, Mikey. Okay. Alright, we're just going to get into the PowerPoint. Alright, so we got the final top 5 power rankings of the year. And we'll just get right into it. Starting at number 5 is Team Fuck This Club. Captain's here. Captain's here with us. Bearded Dog. Bearded Dog, how do you feel about coming at number 5 on our power rankings?
I want to talk about this ranking, but I'm going to save it before we get to the number 4. I want to. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to number 4, I think. But I don't think Team Fuck This Club necessarily should have come in at number 5 on this ranking list. We'll get to it when we get to number 4. Yeah, let's just say that. Because it depends on the other team that comes in number 4.
Okay, so you think you should be higher up on this ranking?
I think that we should. I think that we should have been number 4, and I think that the number 4 team should have been number 5. And I will explain my reasoning when we get to that.
All right, Cassidy, you're the other gold team captain. How do you feel about Team Fuck or Gold Conference captain? How do you feel about Team Fuck This Club coming in at number 5?
Good Team Fuck This Club. They got a great name. I think Evan Randazzo would support it. But we've never played them, so I don't know.
So you're trying to say we don't know really how good they really are because they haven't played.
They're the second best Gold Conference team. That's all I know.
That's all you know. All right, that's a very valid point.
Right, so I can explain some of the reasoning behind this.
All right, go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead.
So obviously they lost the game this week. They're messing around. Their seed was already locked in, almost assuredly. So I did take that into consideration. However, a couple things did happen. Other key teams did get wins. Their biggest win against Butt Potters, they lost. Butt Potters lost a game, so that kind of hurt them. A lot of things kind of hurt them this week, but they only ended up dropping 1. And also, just overall, they were in the weakest group in the entire league. So that all comes into play. But so those are the reasonings behind it.
All right, Chad or Connor, I know you guys don't have very much. Actually, wait. Connor, Connor, you guys did lose to Team Fuck This Club. So do you have any feelings? Do you think they should be higher up the list? Because you guys are going to be pretty high up that list. We'll get to that a little bit later. Do you guys have any feelings about them? They were a good team, obviously. So how do you feel about them?
I definitely think they deserve to be in the top 5 at the very least. And honestly, they could have been 4. I don't know. Because the game we played against them, I don't know, very solid. They knew what they're doing. They countered our strategy, and they did it better than anyone had before, and it worked.
All right. Chad, I don't know if you've really got to see them play very much this year. Do you have any feelings about Team Fuck This Club from the Gold Conference? Chad, are you there?
Quality.
All right. I hope Chad's alive. Chad, if you're talking, we can't hear you, bud. All right. Well, we'll get to Chad on maybe the next team. He's not gonna be here for this team. Sorry about that, everyone. So we're gonna move into the next team on our list. 1 second, and that is the cold ass honkies. Captains here. This might be a little bit of controversy because this team does. Oh, Chad just dropped the thing, so maybe hopefully we'll get him back. But this may be a controversy because cold ass honkies do not have a first round bye like the other 4 teams on this list. We have the captain here. It is his power rankings, so maybe there's a little bit of bias in there. We'll have to see. But we're gonna start this off with BD. How do you feel? Because you were talking about you want to see who came in at number 4.
All right. So we scrimmed against the cold ass honkies this past week. we had a scrim game against them and we beat them. We beat the cold ass honkies. Now that's just my first point. We also have a higher KDA on average than them. We also have played teams and we beat teams that have beaten them before.
Okay.
So I mean that's 3 points right there. I'll let Mikey respond, but we scrimmed you guys and we beat you guys.
All right, those are very valid points, Mikey. How can you justify? I mean, I also took part in this list and I put them ahead of you. Sorry about that. Just because Blue Conference is a tougher conference. How do you justify that, Mikey, with those key points you pointed out?
Right. So, we don't take scrims into account when doing power rankings.
That's fair, but still, like.
In the scrim, we didn't have our mid laner. We subbed our mid laner out for a real shitter replacement. And the game was still really close. And honestly, I feel like the Honkies are the better team. Now, the Honkies are in the hardest, maybe not the hardest, maybe definitely the most competitive group. One of 2 groups that is sending 3 people to the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys had a great week this week, by the way. I wanted to say that.
We did go 2-0.
Nice work.
Beating TRF and getting a forfeit from Cell Block D, but still, it's 2-0 week, making it in at a number 3 seed in a pretty tough group, with the same record as Fuck This Club, and it's still number 4 and number 5. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but that's the reasoning behind it.
I can confirm that I threw that scrum.
Oh god, that was the one you scrimmed?
Okay. All right. So, like Mikey said, though, we're not going to take into account scrims for our top 5 rankings, because we embarrassed them in a scrim, so they wouldn't even be on our list. So like we're not going to count that, obviously. Like I said, though, Cold Ass Honkies coming in at number 4. They did have a great week. They clinched the number 3 seed in their division. I think they are a little bit better than Cloud9. So if we're gonna have to put a team who didn't get a first round bye, I do believe they deserve to be there. The spot on that list that can be widely fought about. Cassidy, we've talked about Cold Ass Honkies before on the show with you here, so I'm just gonna, no offense, I'm gonna like not go to you very much. All right, Chad or Connor, you guys have anything to say about Cold Ass Honkies? They are in your division, or your conference, so you might have to run into them later in the playoffs. You guys, Chad, are you there? First off, I just want to make sure you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so we
Okay.
didn't get your input last on number 5. So how do you feel about the Cold Ass Honkies coming in at number 4?
I think that they're the 3rd best team in the blue division, and whether or not they're better or worse than Team Fuck This Club, I mean, you can argue that, I guess, but I think number 4 is about the right place for them.
All right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Connor, what do you feel about Cold Ass Honkies?
I mean, we beat them, and I was actually a little afraid of that game, and I wasn't sure if we were going to drop it because their mid-game rebound was really, really terrifying. But I think the Vel'Koz ult that we had from Leah that triple killed them. I think it was very even until one decisive team fight, and then it fell apart for them. So I'd say they definitely, the 4-5 spot would be fine for them.
Yeah. All right, that's exactly why we put them there. We think they're a good team. They might make some noise in the playoffs, and we'll get into that a little bit later about if we think they're going to win the first round or not with our playoff predictions. But we're going to go into number 3 team on our list tonight, and that is the Butt Putters. Now, you guys have reigned number 1 for most of the season. You guys have been doing extremely well. You really haven't dropped very many at all. You kind of had a little. Oh wait, I didn't. Okay, yeah, there we go. Anyways, you kind of didn't have a good week this week. You lost the PMC, but you guys are still a great team. We're not saying you're not a great team right here, because number 3 is still really good. It's 24 teams, dude. So do you feel anything about coming in at number 3? Do you think we're slighting you a little bit with this?
You know what? No, I think just based on the record alone, the two teams above us and Ohanamin's family's better performance uh, against the two teams it's lost to. I don't have any problem being number 3. I think, I feel pretty good going into the playoffs. I think we've played a lot of different teams, a lot of different ways of
Okay.
playing against us. So
One of the things that we've talked about a lot in the show in the past couple of weeks is you guys don't have that powerhouse player. You know, that extremely high-ranking player that's gonna super carry everybody. And I know Connor's kind of quiet. That's on Connor's side though. I don't know how to fix that. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like the hangout or whatever, but maybe just a little bit. Like if we're all really quiet, we can still hear you. But anyways, we've talked about how you guys don't have that hard carry, but you guys have great chemistry, and you make a lot of plays in the jungle for your lanes and everything. Do you agree with that, or do you think that you have somebody on your team that can hard carry for you in the future if you need it in a best of 3 series?
Honestly, I've seen Jack hard carry a game, I've seen Clint hard carry a game, and I've seen Leah hard carry a game. And I feel like I've hard carried games before, so I think we're all capable of doing it in the 4 major roles.
Okay.
So, honestly, I don't expect any one person to step up, but I do know that someone on my team will step up.
All right. We're gonna go to Chad. Chad, you're arguably the only team that's been better in the Blue Conference with Sexiled than the Butt Putters. So, how do you feel about the Butt Putters? Because some would say that they're your biggest competition in getting to the finals this year.
I think they're really good, and I'm a little sad that we didn't get to play them. Didn't get a chance to play in the regular season. Did they play against Ohanamin's family or not?
No, we didn't face them.
Like I said, it's hard to it's kind of hard to compare, who should be first, second, and third. But if when teams don't play each other, but I would say that they're very good. I think they have a solid roster, top to bottom, and I look forward to getting to play them in the playoffs, hopefully.
All right. Okay, so I was expecting a little trash talk there, but some respect coming out for Connor's team. We'll get to the trash talker right now. Mikey, how do you feel about the Butt Putters?
They're trash. We let them have that game to make them feel better.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, trust me, it wasn't. We got shit on.
Is that all you have to say about the Butt Putters?
Well, the reason they dropped from 1 to 3 was they lost to PMC this week, in case you guys didn't know, and that wasn't like they were messing around, because if they won that game, they would have been top seed in the Blue Conference, which actually could be pretty helpful going into the playoffs. So they did want to win the game, so not a big loss, but it was definitely something they wanted to win. So.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the other 2 captains. You guys might not know much about them. Well, BD, you know a little bit about them because you beat them. So obviously you played them. How do you feel about the Butt Putters? I mean, you're one of the 2 teams that's beat them. So.
I watched the PMC versus Butt Putters game, and PMC played really well. I'm not going to discount them their win. But I think that the Butt Putters tried a little bit. They tried some champions that they don't normally play. I saw Leo on the Victor, and I saw Clint on the Kali. And I don't normally see them played. I know that they're both champions that both of them play sometimes. But I don't think that the Butt Putters should have dropped to number 3 this time. I'm going to take umbrage again with this ranking here. I'm going to disagree with Connor. I think they should have been number 2 in this ranking.
All right. Cass, do you have anything to say about Butt Putters? Once again, you've been on the show before, so if you don't have very much more to add than what you had on week 1, that's fine.
Ban Nastus.
Ban Nastus, that's all you guys say?
Yeah.
What about the Diana?
Oh no, you can let Connor have Diana.
Oh, you can let Connor have the Diana? Oh, okay. Those are fighting words. I wouldn't let Connor have the Diana. Just throwing it out there.
Ban
All right.
Diana,
Let me have it. Let me have it.
All right. So we're going to move to number 2 on the list. It might look like a little bit of bias because we have 2 of the members of this team on the show right now. But Ohanamin's family coming at number 2. I'm not really going to talk about us. I'm not going to really let Cassidy talk too much about us because we talked a lot about us just in general because I'm the host of the show. So I want to hear from this perspective obviously, BD, you have a little bit of a problem with us coming at number 2, right?
Yeah, so I watched your guys' game versus Hype 5
Oh
today.
god. Oh god.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I honestly thought you guys were number 1 until I watched that game. And I saw the absolute weakness that you guys have with having Dunsey in the mid lane and the weakness against single target CC that you guys have.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, you had a Teemo who built Majai's and sort of the occult, and you still lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I don't
happened.
know. Yeah, no. I mean,
Shots are being fired, and I love
I
it.
really thought you guys were number 1 until then. You were my heroes. You were my heroes, guys. and then what happened? I want to know. I honestly want to know.
Well, alright. I wasn't too happy after that game for multiple reasons. One, as a support player, I hate Vayne, so I never want to pick Vayne again. Honestly. It's not against my AD carry. I wouldn't even trust Pharaoh Christmas Eve on Vayne with me. I hate Vayne. That champion is pitiful. I just absolutely hate him. Also, our jungler doesn't really play Nunu. I don't think he really understood what he had to do on Nunu, because you know Nunu has that weird play style where you're supposed to just counter jungle, you're supposed to get vision control and all that, and I don't think he quite did that as well as he could have. And then we also had Spencer on Rumble, which is a champion he's played, but obviously he's not completely comfortable with. And I think all of that just came together, and you know some of us weren't in the best moods to play that night, you know, that first game. And it all came together in Hype 5. They were just out there having fun. And if you're going to have fun and you start to get a lead having fun, you just get to keep having fun. We tried to turtle as long as possible, and it just didn't work out for us. So that's really all I have to say about that. I think it was an anomaly. I don't think it's going to happen again. I hope it doesn't happen again, because that was really bad. But that's all I have to say about that, really.
Right. So if you look at the reasoning for this pick, like I said, Butt Putters lost to PMC, a playoff contending team that they could possibly face in the playoffs, and you know that's like a pretty hard-hitting loss. And Ohana lost in week 1, was their one loss, and then to Hype 5 was their second loss. So I feel like the week 1 was maybe just getting started, and the Hype 5 was them maybe screwing around or not taking the game seriously. So I don't feel like they really have a loss that's something to look at as like a true weakness, whereas Butt Putters they just lost to a playoff team, so that's more of a weakness in my eyes. So that was why I went with the 2 and 3 there, even though they have the same record.
Alright. Okay. Chatter Connor, you have anything to say about Ohana Means Family?
I haven't played them yet. I look forward to playing them.
Okay.
And I mean, I know Dunsey's a good player. I've watched a couple of their games, and you know, very solid. The number 2 spot's fine for him.
Okay. Chad, you got anything to say? Because we're gonna move to the spot you want to talk about most, I bet.
Well, I mean, the only thing I was going to add, obviously this is Dunsey is a good player, but I think there's a little bit of a question here of whether or not he can be the number 1 star on the team without having a Firo or another good player on the team. I mean, he likes to play the support mid champions like Orianna, Lulu. There's going to be a question whether or not he can hard carry for his team, and I don't know. I don't know if he can.
I think it's a valid point. Something we have to look forward to. So, all right, that was the top 4, and we're gonna get into the last number 1 team. And I don't think this is even a question, to be honest. I don't know if anybody can even fight this. It's Sex out of the league 2.0, obviously. They've kind of did well the whole season. They only dropped 1 game, and I'm pretty sure it was week 2. Is that correct? Week 2?
It was week 1.
Oh, it was week 1?
It was week 2.
It was week.
It
Okay.
was the second game of week 1.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, either way, you guys really haven't lost in a long time, and you guys are only going to get stronger as chemistry gets better. How do you feel about your team right now? You have to feel a little bit comfortable right now, right?
I mean, truthfully, I don't think there's another team in the league that has a realistic shot of beating us.
All right. Those are some big words, especially with like some of the best captains in the league here with us. So, is that what you're gonna leave it at, Chad? Are you gonna just toss that up for people?
I think our play speaks for itself. I don't really what else there is to say.
All right. I'll let anybody who wants to talk about this go first. Who wants to go first with this?
Well, I'll just say the reasoning behind it is
Okay.
this team is utter shit. Like, just a dumpster fire. But somehow they have the best record. I don't know how it's happened. So that's why they're number one. They didn't play us. That's why they have the best
Yeah.
record.
They didn't play us either, and I really wish we would have the opportunity to play them this season, but unfortunately they're probably going to lose during the quarterfinals, so we won't even get to play them. So,
Oh my God,
yeah.
Connor. Realistically, that has to hurt what he just said right there. You think you can beat them, right? I bet you know you can beat them. So how do you feel?
I'm quite confident in my team's ability to tear Chad's team apart. And I'd
Okay.
also like to say, Chad had the easiest schedule out of all of us.
He did. He did have a pretty easy schedule.
Because he didn't face any of us.
I don't think he faced another top 5 team.
I think he had the unruly Gigahos, which didn't have that good of a season, unless you were the Cold Ass Honeys, because they swept them. But everybody else did not.
They didn't sweep the Honey.
He went 1-1 against
The
the Honeys.
the Gigahos?
No, the Honeys.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Gigahos who didn't have a good season, other than against the Honeys, right? I
Oh
thought
yeah,
they swept.
they two had the Honeys. Yes.
Yeah, they too had the Honey. So the Gigahos only had 3 wins against non-Honey teams, and then you had, I think it was Super High Shitty Walk, right? That was the other team, correct?
No.
They have Milk
Milk
Hunters.
Hunters.
Milf Hunters, okay, which was a team that literally didn't have a team for half the season. So because of the scandal as it is. So yeah, they did have an easy schedule, but they are a great team. I don't think anybody can fight that. BD, you're the only one who hasn't really talked about them. Do you have anything to say about them?
Yeah, I just want to say that, like, when I look at teams, when I try to figure out how we're going to beat them, I look at the lanes particularly and the lane matchups. And Sexile 2.0 has the strongest lanes in mid and bottom, and their top is their only like toss up. Their jungle is also like incredible. I think that Sexile is the toughest team to beat, and I don't think it's a question here.
All right. Also, mad props to you, Chad. You've been a mid laner, I think, since you started, right? Since you started in the OLS, and you've made the change to jungle, and you've done really well. So, mad props to you. That's something I don't know if a lot of people really appreciate. You're doing real great in the jungle. I'd argue you're probably, if not one of the best junglers right now. You and Connor are up there. So, congratulations to you both. So, that was our top 5, our final top 5 of the year. I don't think anybody can argue with the top 5. Maybe where they're placed, but those are definitely the top 5 teams. So, we're going to go into, I think we're moving into playoffs now. Hold on. Yes, we're going to go into the playoff brackets. First, we're going to start the seeding. We got the Blue Conference seeds starting up. The first seed, Sexile L League 2.0. If you looked at the Game Center, you would know these seeds, but just in case the viewers haven't, we're going to bring them up for you guys now. So, Sexile won 13-1 this year. Obviously, we just said, really good team. So they locked in the number 1 seed. Butt Putters, another great team from the Blue Conference, only dropped 2 games this season, 12-2. They're going to have the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Both those teams secured first round byes and do not have to play a game this week. Coming at the number 3 seed is the Cold Ass Honkies. They had a great week. 2-0, had a 2-0 week, including a win over Team Rally Fortified to clinch the number 3 seed. So that was. There's nothing more really to say about them. They came up just short of a bye. So if they would have beat the Butt Butters, those would have been switched, those seeds. Coming at number 4, we have Team Rally Fortified Gold. They had a rough week. They lost to both Cold Ass Honkies and Gem Knight, but they still got the 4 seed. So it's not the end of the world. They'll still have blue side advantage in the first round of the playoffs. And this is where we get a little confusing. I'm going to bring up the 5 seed and 6 seed at the same time. There's a playoff game that needs to be played still between PMC and the Cold Ass Honeys. In case people don't understand how this is going to work, the next slide will explain it a little bit, but I'm just going to go into it a little bit right now. The Cold Ass Honeys will play PMC hopefully tomorrow night. If the Cold Ass Honeys win, they get the number 5 seed, and your mom gets the number 6 seed because of tiebreakers down the list and everything. There's so many tiebreakers, I don't really want to get into it right now. And then if PMC wins, your mom will be the 5 seed, and PMC will be the 6 seed. That's basically all you need to know about that. I just wanted to give you guys the Blue Conference seeds. You guys have anything to say about the Blue Conference seeds? Any surprises in there for you guys? now we're not talking about so much the top seeds anymore. We're talking about those teams that just got in the wild card spots, teams that turned it on late in season, stuff like that.
You know what? I would actually say Team Rally Fortified Gold is going to be a team to watch here. And I wouldn't be surprised if them taking 2 games in the playoffs.
Okay. I agree with that point. I think Team Rally Fortified...
I mean, we played our game against them, and if they would have won that, they would have been the 3 seed against us, because they had the tiebreaker over us. And the game we played them was an hour and 5 minutes long, so it was pretty close. So they're definitely a team to watch. But honestly, I think that all the teams in the Blue Conference are really good, and I think that they'll all give. I think they're all contenders. I really do.
Okay, you got Chad. You have anything to say about this? This is your conference, so I expect you guys to talk the most about the Blue Conference.
We played Team Rally Fortified Gold, and I mean they were pretty good. I remember we lane swapped against him, but if I remember correctly, that game, and so it was a little bit of an unorthodox game, but they took one of the only 3 dragons we've lost all year, so they have that going for them. I don't know.
Okay. As a Gold Conference player, I follow the OLS a lot actually because I put the show on, and so I like to be informed on both conferences. I like your mom. We were against them a little bit earlier, this split. I think we said they were going to lose the PMC. They were going to have like an 0-2 week, and they shut us up, and they went on a tear to end the season. So really impressed by them, and they're led by a veteran captain in Eric. He was on the show last week. So I think they have a chance to make some noise. They'll be facing Kodas and Ankies in the first round. We'll get to predictions later, of course, like I've already said a million times. But, well, they might be, actually. I was just assuming Kodas and Honeys will win. Actually, you guys want to get into that right now? Who would you take in that that prediction? It's not necessarily a playoff game. It's Honeys versus PMC to see who gets 5 and 6 seed. Who would you guys take? I'm going to start with Cassidy, and we're just going to go down the line. So we're going to go Cassidy, Chad, Connor, Mikey, BD. Cassidy, who would you take in the PMC versus Honeys game?
I have Pharaoh most likely playing AD carry, and if Sandkith has a good game, either in the top lane or in the jungle, I have no idea where he's going anymore, then they'll win. Pharaoh will do well no matter what. He needs a team to back him up. Otherwise, I really think PMC's got this. They had a forfeit loss to Mill Punchers, unfortunately, which set him in this position.
All right. Chad, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win that, PMC or Honeys?
We played them both. I would think that I'd give it to PMC. I don't know. I think what it comes down to is that Smegs can be good, but he's way too unreliable, and I think that when it comes for the big game, he's just going to throw it.
Okay. Those are very points. So we got, what, 1-1, I'll say? I feel like Cassie's leading towards the Honeys a little bit. Connor, who do you think, PMC or Honeys?
You know what? Having played both of them, I'm going to have to give the nod to PMC, and it's not just because, obviously, they beat us. But I have watched 2 of their games, and not the ones that I've played against them, and I think that they have a really adaptive playstyle.
Okay.
And they can read other teams really well. So I think they could definitely... I'm going to give them the nod.
Okay, so 2-1 PMC. Mikey, what do you have in this prediction?
I'm gonna go with PMC, and it's because they would just be in the playoffs right now if they didn't have they forfeited one of their games to Dylan's Villains, and if they didn't have that game forfeited, I feel like they probably would have won, and they probably would have been in already with the better record. And also they were screwed going into this week. They had to play Sexiled and Butt Putters, and they pulled out a win to stay alive. So they're a clutch team. So I think that they will like show up big and win the game.
Okay, so you got PMC again then?
Yes.
Okay. What do you have, BD?
I'm pulling PMC too. I think that they are the team that they can pull off wins when it matters the most. They pulled it off against Butt Putters. They pulled it off there. I think that's all that matters. If you can pull it off under pressure, then you can pull off the game.
All right. Well, that was a 4-1 vote. I would have taken PMC too. I like PMC almost the whole year. So I like that team. I like how they're a bunch of newcomers. And I like what they're doing this split. So I definitely think that they will pull this out. So that's a 5-1. I do think any game is possible with Pharaoh in it. Pharaoh has shown he can carry games on support, AD carry. So it's going to be an exciting game to watch, and it's going to shape the playoff picture. So you guys need to get that game in quick so teams can get the game scheduled. Just a reminder, hopefully you have it planned to be played tomorrow, which I would assume is what you guys are doing. But that's about it for the Blue Seed Conference in their seeds. I think what I have here, yes. Okay, so what I have on this slide is, it's basically, whoa, sorry. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. This is the seed tiebreakers. This is basically what I said. In case you want to look back and look what has to happen for each team to, for your team, your mom, PMC, or Honeys. Well, your mom's automatically in, but their seed will change depending on this game. So this seed tiebreaker will tell you what will happen depending on who wins the game. So if you guys want to look back on that a little bit later, we already talked about it, so we're just going to kind of go through this real quick. The next slide we're going to move on to is the playoff predictions. This is the best part of the show, I think. This is why I brought everybody on. You guys are the best captains, I believe. You guys have shown you have knowledge of the league, pretty good knowledge of the league. So we got to remember these are best of threes. No more of this best of one fluke games. We're going to see who really the best teams are. So we're going to start this off with the Blue Conference wildcard. We already referenced Sexile 2.0 and Butt Putters. We're going to have buys. So the first game that we're gonna, the first sets of game are Cold Ass Honkies, the number 3 seed, versus Your Mom / PMC, and then we have Team Rally Fortify versus Cold Ass Honeys or Your Mom. Obviously, we're gonna go with because we mostly predicted PMC. So are you guys okay with using PMC as the fill-in team here and using that bracket? Are you guys okay with that?
That's fine with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll say PMC won this game, okay? So that means it's going to be Cold Ass Honkies versus PMC, number 3 versus number 6 seeds. So we'll start with we're going to start with the Gold Conference people, and then we'll get to the Blue Conference people. So Cassidy, I'm going to start with you. What do you feel about this matchup between Cold Ass Honkies and PMC?
I think that's the last team that the Honkies wanted to see, but I'm going to go with the Honkies because they're my favorite team.
Okay, you're gonna go with the Honkies. Any more depth to that, or just hey, they're my favorite team? Like, do you think they have a lane advantage? Do you think Fartosh or Mikey's gonna carry above what PMC can do?
I think that T-Slag is very, very good in the bot lane, but Mikey micromanages his bot lane very well, and even if he is in an unfavorable lane matchup, he'll still be able to farm it out and not die, essentially, and then go into the late game. And you have, hopefully they put a tanky top laner and have Fartosh just carry through the mid game. So.
Okay, alright. BD, who do you think is going to win between the Cold Ass Honkies and PMC?
I'm calling it for Cold Ass Honkies.
You're going to pick the Cold Ass Honkies? Any
I
reasons?
think PMC has a chance here, but I just don't think that New Velvetage can hold up against Fartosh. I think that that's the lane to watch. And unless he picks a really, really safe laner, I just don't see it working out for PMC.
Okay, those are very good points. We'll go Chad, Connor, then of course Mikey, because he has a little bit to say about this probably. Chad, who do you think is going to win this game? Because I think
it's definitely you have to have Cold Ass Honkies at least penciled in as the probable winners of this game. But if I was PNC and I was trying to think of a way that you might be able to pull out a win here, I would ban out Rumble. I would do a lane swap, and I would play something mid lane that could just farm against a Xerath or a Ziggs, and then I would play a Feral Flare jungler and play towards the late game.
Okay. I hope there's somebody from PMC listening. Hopefully they'll take that into account, and they'll make it a series. I think it's going to be a really good series between PMC and Cold Ass Honkies. That is if PMC wins, of course. Connor, what do you feel about this series?
You know what? I am going to go with what everyone expects me to do and give the nod to Cold Ass Honkies. I think, even though I do like PMC and I do see PMC stealing 2 wins out of this playoffs, because I think they're a really adaptive team. I'm still gonna have to favor the cold ass honkies just on probability.
Okay. So we have all cold ass honkies, Mikey, and we're coming to you. You're gonna pick. You're gonna.
PMC.
You're gonna go with PMC. Okay.
No, I mean, obviously, I'm going to pick my own team. But at the same time, of those three teams, I want to face PMC the least. Like I said, I mean, they would have had a better record without the forfeit. They're clutch. I just feel like they're a really strong team. Not going to underestimate them going into our game if we play them. As far as Chad's strategy of play for the late game, though, I will say that we have our average win is longer than anyone else, and our team has 2 wins that are over an hour long. So I don't know about playing for the late game against us, but that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, that's a very good point you're making there, Mikey. I'll just throw who I think's gonna win into this. I definitely think the Cold Ass Honkies are gonna win. But PMC, they do have a chance to win. I do think there's a possibility for them. They need a couple things to go their way. I think they can probably win the top lane, and they might be able to out jungle. And it's going to come down to that bot lane, I think. I think the mid, they can get through Fartosh, because Fartosh has shown a little bit this season that he is prone to making mistakes, get caught out at certain points in time and stuff. So if that happens again, then there's going to be problems for your team. So I feel if the bot lane can win, and maybe the top lane can just take care of business, and maybe if the jungle out jungles, I think they'll be good. I think PMC might be able to pull the upset over you guys. Obviously, you're friends, so I don't want that to happen, but I would love it as a show person because they give me something to talk about. So, obviously, we want Cold Ass Honkies over PMC here. So with that idea, the butt putters would be facing Cold Ass Honkies in the next round, regardless of what happens. I don't know. Do you guys want to do that kind of? You want to do that? You want to go all the way through like that, or no? You just want to do first round predictions? That's up to you guys. We might have time to do all that. I think we're kind of under time right now. Yeah, we can. You want to just go through the playoffs with predictions? We can do that.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the next game would be Butt Putters versus Cold Ass Honkies. Cassidy, you want to start us off again?
We probably shouldn't do the next round.
You don't want to?
Do that next week, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna have everybody on next week though.
Okay,
Because
that's true.
That's true. I mean, how about this? We'll go through the first round.
At least do the lowest remaining seed. Not that many rounds. The first 2 rounds.
Yeah, we'll do the first 2 rounds. So how about we just do the second? We'll do the second Blue Conference game, and then that. I mean, obviously we know who you're facing, but we'll figure out. We'll go like up the bracket just for our first 2 rounds. That's a good idea. Thanks, Connor. Appreciate that. So the other game this week is going to be. Oh wow, I messed it up again. Sorry about that. PowerPoint's too shrunk. Okay, Team Rally Fortify versus Your Mom. Both teams very good. Both teams coming from Group B, right? That's the group that is, Mikey, right? You're Group B, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So both teams are coming from Group B, so they've met twice this year already. I think it's going to be a really close game, so I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I think we're going to have a little bit more split vote than we have with Cold Ass Honkies versus PMC, so let's get right into it.
Honkies versus Butt Putters? We're not in the same group.
What?
What match are you talking about?
Talk about Team Rally Fortify versus Your Mom right now.
Okay.
And then we're gonna
go
go
to the next round.
We're gonna go to the next round after we do the first rounds. Does that make sense?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can start this one off. Or
Okay.
are we going in order?
Yeah. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead and start off. Team Rally Fortify versus Your Mom.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Definitely TRF. They 2-0'd them. The parts of the games I was watching, it wasn't really that close. And I feel like TRF is a very strong 4 seed, so I'm going to go with them 100% here.
Alright, so you're going to go TRF? Or wait, you're going with who again? I'm sorry.
TRF,
You're going TRF. Okay, just wanted to make sure. BD, who are you going to go with on this one?
I'm going with TRF2. First is we're tight, and I'm all about TRF. I think that they're a really strong team.
Okay, so that's 2 for TRF. Connor, who are you going to take, TRF or Your Mom?
I'm gonna have to give the nod to TRF. I honestly, playing against them, the games they played, they showed they were really strong. They're definitely an above average team, very above average.
Okay.
Out of the playoff bracket, so very strong.
Okay. Chad, who do you think is going to win between TRF and Your Mom?
I'm gonna go against everyone. I'm gonna to say your mom, and the reason I think that is because I think they've had the hardest schedule I think of any team in the league this split. I know we played them. They were in the conference with Cold-Ass Honkies and with TRF, and I think that they've gotten better since they've played against the strongest teams. And I don't know. I think that Versh is probably better off not playing Feral Flare junglers. I think Feral Flare junglers are actually really bad. And I don't know. I would say if your mom went with a strategy such as like playing Nunu, rushing Frozen Heart, and counter jungling a lot, that'd be really good against TRF.
Okay. So we got 3-1 right now. Cassidy, who you gonna go with, TRF or your mom?
Yeah, I have to agree with Chad. I think your mom has the edge here. I actually got to cast one of the games between these two, and TRF won, but during that game they had David in the mid lane and Eric as an AD carry, and they've swapped that, and I think that they're much better off where they're at now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it to them over TRF.
All right. So that's a 3-2. I'll just give my pick real quick. I'm not gonna give very much analysis. I'm gonna take your mom. Mainly because I picked against your mom, and I don't feel like looking like an idiot again. I think Team Rally Fortify, they're a great team. Your mom has really turned it on lately, though, and they're coming in with a lot of momentum. So I think they're gonna come in and pull the upset, and they're gonna win this game. So I'm gonna pick your mom. We're gonna have a 3-3 on that one. But you guys are my guest panel, so we're gonna go through because there's 5 of you. We're gonna go and we're gonna put Team Rally Fortify in, okay? That's what we're gonna do for the second round.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna bring up the PowerPoint for this because I don't have any graphics made for this. I should have thought ahead. I'm sorry about that, everybody who's watching. So, because we picked Cold-Ass Honkies to win, they're gonna face the Butt Putters in a 2 vs 3 matchup. BD, who do you have in a Butt Putters versus Honkies? There we go. Butt Putters versus Honkies 2-3 matchup.
Butt Putters versus Honkies. I'd put Butt Putters. What do you mean 2 versus 3?
Like the 2 seed versus the 3 seed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Still Butt Putters.
Still Butt Putters? Okay. Any reasoning behind that, or you just feel confident about the Butt Putters team overall?
They beat the Cold-Ass Honkies before. So.
Alright, that's a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
Cassidy?
I'm going to go with the Honkies. I think that they can win in the pick and ban phase against the Butt Putters. I think the Butt Putters would be able to win in a blind pick, but I think that they are bannable.
Okay. Chad, how do you feel about this Blue Conference showdown?
I think that Cold-Ass Honkies matches up really well against Butt Putters. I know that Will was it Massimi?
Call H Street.
He's done very well. He was on my team last split. We made the finals. He was very good at matching up against top laners who were at least above average skill level, might have been above his skill level, but able to stay even in lane. He played against Rob, Palmieri Hines Ward 1 match, and was able to match CS at 20 minutes with him, and I think Rob's D5. So I think they match up very, very well against Butt Putters, and I give it to Cold-Ass Honkies.
Okay. I kind of feel like I know who Connor and Mikey are going to pick in this, but we're going to start with Connor. Connor, who would you take in the Butt Putters versus Cold-Ass Honkies? And I know you're going to say the Butt Putters, obviously, because that's your team. What I want you to do with this prediction is tell me why. Why do you think your team is going to come out ahead of the Cold-Ass Honkies?
I think that my team has, at the very least, 3 people in better positions. I think we have a stronger top laner, a stronger mid, a stronger jungler, and our AD carries. I've seen Jack play way above his rank. So I think that we have better matchups in every lane. We beat him before. And if Jack's on point, we'll have a better bot lane too.
I just want to clear this up. Jack is Uncle Ruckus, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's your AD carry, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Alright, so Thank you. I really appreciate that. Instead of just telling me, of course, yourselves. Mikey, trash talk aside, because I know you're gonna say like you're gonna put them in the dumpster or something stupid like that. But why would you say the cold ass honkies are gonna come ahead of butt putters? In a realistic analysis point of view, not just because you're the captain of your team.
Well, yeah, we lost the game. It was pretty early in the season, week 3, I think. So, I mean, we've learned a lot from then, and we were running a pretty weird comp that we had never even done in practice before. I really don't know what we were thinking. We didn't ban Connor's Diana. So many things went wrong, and we still had a comeback in the mid game, like he said. I think it's a pretty close game, but if we just play normally, I feel like we can beat them.
Okay.
Also, they're trash.
Okay. a big matchup I would talk about in that game is I think it's kind of crucial is Leah in the mid lane versus Fartosh. Leah's not Fartosh is like what, Diamond 2, Diamond 4? What is he?
Diamond 4.
Diamond 4. And Leia's not Diamond. I think she's Gold 2
Gold?
or 1. Gold 2 or 1. But you know she's done really well this split. So how do you think she would how do you think she would deal with Fartosh in the mid lane? Because obviously you do rely on him to carry a little bit. So how do you think that she would be able to put up with him in the mid lane, Mikey?
Well, I mean, obviously there's the skill differential. Fartosh should win. The only problem would be jungle pressure from the illustrious Connor Llewellyn. But I think if we have good ward coverage to deal with jungle pressure, that he should be able to easily win the mid lane and maybe get rolling, get a carry on.
All right, Connor, how do you feel about that mid lane matchup? I do think you guys will have an advantage in the jungle. No offense to Caso Freaky, he is a good friend of mine, but just natural talent-wise, I think you might have a jungle advantage. So do you think you'll be able to make up for that disadvantage that Leah's at naturally because of ranking?
I think Leah play 2 fucking leagues above her ranking, so I'm not worried one bit about that.
Okay.
I'm excited to see how much time they're going to dedicate to this, and making sure that I'm not mid lane.
Okay.
Just let me go bot or top.
All right.
I think Leah can handle her own.
All right. I'm excited for that. I hope that game does happen, or that series does happen. It'll be one of the better better set of games we see this split. We're gonna move on to the other game that would be in the second round with the panel's predictions, and that would be Sexiled versus Team Rally Fortify, right? Yeah. So, how do you guys feel about Sexiled versus Team Rally Fortify? I'm gonna go right to BD with this one. You haven't talked in a while, BD. So, how would you feel about this?
Team Rally Fortify versus Sexiled?
Yes.
Actually, like, TRF has a chance here. I think that they have like that kind of spread out type thing that if they go kind of with a lot of single target CC, like how Verse likes to play Vi, and I don't know about the rest of their compositions, but if Stuffman gets on Gnar, if they get the CC that they want, I think that they can win this. But I'm gonna give it to Sexiled.
Okay.
I don't think that they will win it. I think that they can though.
All right, Cassidy, how do you feel about it?
I think KP matches up well with Chad, but they won't have enough to beat Sexiled.
Okay, Mikey.
Might take one game.
Might take one game. Okay, so 2-1 win. Mikey, how do you feel about this?
I think if any team beating Sexiled, for some reason I feel like TRF has the right matchups to do it.
I like a Cinderella story.
This would be my upset pick. I don't know. I like the way the lanes match up, but then Sexiled, they know that and they do lane swaps, so I'll give it to Sexiled because they just like Chad's like Rain Man. He's like kind of retarded, but he always does the right strategy.
Okay. Connor, how do you feel about this? Overwhelmingly, we have Sexiled so far. So, how do you feel about this Sexiled versus Team Rally Fortify?
Oh, you know what? Based on just like some surge of retard strength, I'm gonna give it to Team Rally.
Okay. Okay.
crush their way. You know what? I like this. I like this story. Team Rally and Fortify goes to the finals.
Chad, like I posed the question to Connor and Mikey, obviously you're going to pick your own team, but do you have a specific reason why you think your team, the biggest advantage that is, that your team has over Team Rally Fortify, and why you're going to win the game?
You know, like I said, we played Team Rally Fortify, and I thought they were a strong team, and I like the fact they have some like players who aren't really kind of new, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Verge isn't very new, but you know, I think they're a good team. It's just when you're trying to like find out like a weakness or way to like attack our team. I mean, it's very hard because ZZ like really holds down the mid lane, and then so I don't see her ever losing 1v1 against another mid laner in the split.
Okay.
And if they do start the camper, I'm just gonna counter gank, and I don't think there's a better mid jungle duo in the split than me and ZZ. So I don't realistically see a way that Team Rally 4 or 5 would be able to beat us. I mean, I think that if there was a team who could beat us, it would probably be Quodas Honkies.
All right.
Hey.
Just personally, my thoughts on this is, I think Team Rally Fortify would put up a really good fight to you guys. You would have to strategize against Stuffed Man, because I think he is one of the better tops, and I think he's maybe a little bit better than Burkinator, so he would actually might be able to snowball that lane. I think Versh is one of the few junglers who might be able to do as well as you in the jungle. And that bot lane is nothing to mess with. As long as your pick and ban phase goes well, though, and your strategy pays off, I don't think you have a problem. But I could see you dropping the game potentially, depending on pick and ban phase and such. So I think it's going to be a good series. It's not as cut and dry as most people would think, I don't think. But that's just my take on the Blue Conference. I guess that would be the Blue Conference quarterfinals. Or the semifinals. That'd be the Blue Conference semifinals. Okay, yeah. Alright, so enough Blue Conference talk. I've seen in the chat a lot of people want to talk about the Gold Conference. And we're going to get to that now. I'm sorry it took so long to get to that. But we had three Blue Conference members as guests. So it's obviously we're going to get their input a little bit more. So without further ado, let's move to the Gold Conference. The Gold Conference seeds are as follow. Coming at number 1, Ohana Means Family, 12-2. Good season. We've already been over that, how well they've done. Coming at number 2, BD's team, Team Fuck This Club. They went 11-3. Great season. Get the first round bye as well. And we'll see where this goes. Coming in seed number 3 is Cloud9, a very under the radar team. They didn't really show up. Like nobody was like, oh god, Cloud9, but they had a great season and they are a good team. We faced them. They're pretty tough. So I think they beat you, right, BD?
Yeah, they did.
Alright, so yeah, they're a good team, so you gotta look out for them. They're the number 3 seed. Number 4 seed is Big Dick Club. Good team. Maybe have the best support in the OLS, the Suezo Tiger. Just an overall good team. Not amazing, but they can give people a scare. Coming at number 5 is Meme Team 6. There's Zelcor. Zelcor's Diamond player. So anytime you have a Diamond player, you have a chance, right? So, hey, 5-6 or 8-6. Meme Team 6. That's what I was trying to say. And I think the last team, yes, number 6 is the Sovereign. To be honest, like 3 weeks ago, I didn't think this team was even going to make the playoffs. They've gone through a lot, and I guess props to Khalif for getting his team into the playoffs. I did not expect that to happen. Especially with Davey leaving. That's hard to. It's nothing against Khalif. It's kind of hard to lose a Diamond player and come back. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's why I'm giving him props. I think that was tremendous. I mean, he did get some subs in there, and he was able to win games. So props to him. So that's the Gold Conference seeds. Nothing too spectacular. I think that was basically the 6 teams that were in the playoff picture last week. So they kind of just stayed the same. They did what they had to do to get in the playoffs. And that's that. We're going to move into the Gold Conference wildcard round pretty quickly. We're going to do what we did with the Blue Conference. So in the first set of games, we have Cloud9 versus Sovereign and Big Dick Club versus Beam Team 6. So we're going to start with Cloud9 versus Sovereign. We're going to start with the Blue Conference people, then go to the Gold Conference people. Just because the Gold Conference people are going to probably have a little bit more to say about this. So we're going to start with we're gonna start with Chad. Chad, I don't know if you played either team, Cloud9 or the Sovereign, but I'm hoping you at least pay attention to them. How do you feel about that game? How do you think it's gonna go?
I actually have never played it. Yeah, we didn't play either one. I'd give it to Cloud9 though. I think Cloud9's been a team that's been a little bit quiet, but I think they're very strong. I'd give it to Cloud9.
You give it to Cloud9? Okay. Connor, how do you feel about this? I don't know if you've placed either team either. I don't really think anybody you guys did actually. So okay. Do you know anything about Cloud9 or the Sovereign to give it in?
I know a little bit about the Sovereign and his captain.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to the Sovereign just because I'm really excited for Dunsey to smash their heads in.
Okay. All right. Mikey, how do you?
Votes on the Sovereign.
So you want to pick the Sovereign over Cloud9? Is that what you're saying? Okay. I don't know if that's what he said. I think he said Sovereign.
Yeah.
All
He said
right.
so.
Okay, Mikey. Who do you have for this one?
Oh, it's like the Sovereign is consistent, but like consistently mediocre. And Cloud9, in my mind, they go from being a top tier contending team to being like below average. Like it's some of the games, they show up and I'm like, wow, this team is amazing. Everything's going for them. They're a great team. And then other games I'm watching like, how did they lose this? So I don't think that they'll lose in a best of 3 to the Sovereign.
Okay.
I think Cloud9 has the potential to show up like the great team that I know they can be, and I think a best of 3 fits this team a lot better than like the best of 1 format. So
Okay.
I think Cloud9 is like a pretty strong pick for the playoffs.
All right. So we have 2 Cloud9s and 1 Sovereign. Cassidy, we'll go to you. A little background. We faced them one time, Cloud9. I think it was in week 2. I think it was week 2. They were a really good team. They put a big fight up to us. I think we end up winning like 1 team fight at the end and pushing the win. So obviously they're not a bad team because people have said we're one of the or not the best team in the Gold Conference. So how do you feel about Cloud9 in general, and how do you feel about them in this series against the Sovereign?
Yeah, I mean, we got to play them both, and I think Cloud9 are just the better team. Early on, we got a break because we got to play them early on, and I assumed that their communication has like gotten a lot better since then. And I know that early on we were losing to them actually, and I think we won that game because we just out-rotated them, to be honest, before the CLG. But they look a lot better now, and I think like they've really worked on it. And I'm like pretty scared of them and really happy that that we got the #1 seeds, that we won't have to face them in the second round.
All right. So you're picking Cloud9 for this victory then against the Sovereign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boz gets Fiora in game 1, and they 2-0 them.
Okay.
Just on one game.
BD, obviously you didn't have such a good time against Cloud9 this split. So how do you feel about them? Obviously you think they're pretty strong, right?
Yeah, I think we messed up pick ban a lot. I think we banned the Fiora, but we didn't ban the Syndra or the Ahri. I actually think we banned the Ahri, but we didn't ban the Syndra.
Okay.
And I think that's really Cloud9's weakness. I still think they're going to win this, but I think that the Sovereign can definitely take a game off them just by running pick ban correctly and like doing their research. I think that Cloud9 has a small champion pool, and I think that they're weak in that case, so they're not going to go very far in playoffs, but they're definitely going to take this game.
Okay. Just a message to Cloud9. Make sure you schedule your time and show up on time for these games, and not late. That's a big thing.
Because
That's a big thing.
important.
Very important to show up on time. All right. So, moving on to the second game or the second series. It's the Big Dick Club versus Meme Team 6. Big Dick Club has been solid all year. Meme Team 6 is led by Zelcor. Chad, do you know anything about either of these teams, or you feel anything about either of these teams in this series?
We played Mean Team 6 for our first game of the split. I mean, I don't know if they've changed much at all since then. Is Zelcor still jungling?
Zelcor's top.
Yeah, Zelcor moved to top lane.
Okay. I mean, I can talk generally about them. They were pretty good. I remember the game was semi-close. I don't know. I just think that Zelkor is going to have to just carry harder. I don't know. I mean, nothing against Zelkor. I know he's a good player, but he didn't play, I think, to the level I'd expect like a Diamond 3 to play our first game.
All right.
I mean, but I still give it to Mean Team 6.
You give it to Mean Team 6 over Big Dick Club? Connor, how do you feel about this? Mean Team 6 versus the Big Dick Club.
Having only seen a very little bit of each of them, I think from the little I saw the Big Dick Club, I'm give the nod to them.
Okay.
But I'm not a big expert on the player list for either of them.
Okay, that's understandable. That's the problem with the interconference. You only play 2 games, so sometimes if you don't follow the OLS that much outside of your own conference, sometimes you don't run into those teams. So that's understandable. But you think the Big Dick Club, correct? So that's 1-1 so far. Mikey, how do you feel about this? Big Dick Club versus Mean Team 6.
They both have the same record, and BDC is in the hardest group in Gold Conference. I think 3 or 4 of their 6 losses come from in-division games from Group E.
Okay.
So based on that, I'll give them the win over Meme Team, but I think this will be a 2-1 series.
I think you gotta give the nod to Smart Pants.
What? What do you mean you gotta give the nod to Smart Pants? And what?
He's the mid laner for Big Dick Club.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Be someone to watch.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I like Smart Pants. I think you'll do well. Cassidy, obviously we beat the Big Dick Club twice this year. The last game was like 15 minutes or so, but I don't know if that was necessarily their skill or just the annoying ass champion named Ziggs and his amazing clearing ability and his ability to kill me from half health. So what do you think about the Big Dick Club versus Meme Team 6? Obviously they're in our conference, so you should know a little bit about them.
Yeah, I have zero respect for the Big Dick Club outside of Swiss and Tiger. He is a great support, but he will not be able to carry as Pharaoh has acted to carry from the support role for the Honeys. And Meme Team 6 will 2-0 them very easily.
Okay, those are big words, man. All right, BD, do you have any feelings about Meme Team 6 versus Big Dick Club?
I believe in the top lane. I think Selkor can carry this. I think he's going to stomp Bidoof with any champ that he picks. I think he can go Poppy and just 1v5 the enemy team.
I actually kind of agree with that point. Bidoof is known for his Mundo, and yeah, it's Mundo. So if Zelkor can play a carry champion and get fed, like hell, if he plays like Nasus or something, he doesn't even have to really necessarily win team fights. You know, he could just win the game like that. So he's gonna have a huge advantage. I think Bidoof Master Race. Isn't that guy banned though? Isn't there like a different guy playing for them or something?
Oh, what?
Isn't Bidoof Master Race banned? Or something like that? Somebody tell me that's true, right?
Bidoof did get banned for spamming, but
yeah, that's what. Is he
don't know who
unbanned?
their sub is.
I think he might be unbanned, by the way. But anyways,
He got banned for spamming?
yeah.
He would spam macros. Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but I think Zelkor can beat him in lane, and I've seen before a top lane carry, so I think that Meme Team 6 can easily come out ahead of the Big Dick Club. The Big Dick Club is a good team, though. We faced them twice, and they put up a fight in both games. Just saying that. So, Meme Team 6 is the team that you guys have voted to go move on, and you've also voted for Cloud9. So, Cloud9 versus Team Fuck This Club. Chad, how do you think about that game?
I don't know. Team Fuck This Club, it's very hard for me to give them a serious shot at moving past that round or even moving past the semifinals, just because Evan is so troll that half the times I think that he doesn't want to win, and the other half the times I think he's actually purposely trying to lose. So imagine when Evan shows up, the Evan that doesn't want to win, and then the Evan who's trying to lose. But he's just too big of a part of that team, and he's just generally too unreliable. I don't see them going very far. I'm gonna give it to Mean Team 6.
Oh wow, that's huge. All right, it's Cloud9. Is that you're giving it to Cloud9 then? It's Cloud9 versus them.
Yeah, sorry, Cloud9.
Okay, I just want to double check on that.
Yep.
Connor, I don't know if you know about. Oh, you know Team Fuck This Club. How do you think about them versus Cloud9?
You know what? I'm gonna have to give the nod here. Like I said, I don't see Cloud9 getting past the preliminary round, so I'm gonna give the nod here to
Team
the
fuck.
News.
Team fuck
Sorry,
this club.
Team fuck this club because I mean they're the team that knocked us off our undefeated streak at 9, so I have to give them some respect for that. And I know Evan's a solid player, and BD carried the shit out of that game, so I know that can happen too. If you let him just tear you apart on 80 carry.
All
I don't
right.
see them losing that game.
Okay. Mikey, how do you feel about this? Team fuck this club versus Cloud9.
Michael?
There he is.
I'm giving it to fuck this club 2-1.
2-1. All right. All right. Guess we don't really need too much from you. BD. Obviously, the question I've already asked a bunch of people. Obviously, you're gonna pick your own team. Why though? Why do you think Team Fuck this club's gonna come out on top?
Well, we lost to Cloud9. I mean, we lost to them. But we let Evan play AD carry, and he played Ezreal, and he built blue build. And that's just not going to happen the second time we play them.
Okay.
So I think that's
That would
probably
be a
going to
big
win.
factor in the loss, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty big factor in the loss.
All right. That's a pretty valid point. So, we have the Big Dick Club beating Cloud9.
Also, we let Curse
Team
Damon
Fuck
play
this
Syndra, and that was a mistake.
Okay.
That was a mistake too.
You'll never let that happen again, right?
Yeah, that's never
Okay.
going to happen again.
So you're pretty confident with your pick and ban phase against them.
Yeah, no, I think we
Okay.
know who to ban, and I think that's all there is to it.
That's true.
All right. Okay. So the other game would be Meme Team 6, right? Meme Team 6. Yes. Meme Team 6 versus Haname's family. Chad, what do you think about that one?
I'd give it to Ohanamin's family.
Okay. All right. Any reason, or just you just think Ohana's just a naturally better team?
They're just. I think Ohanamin's family is just solid. I think Cassidy has a little bit of a. I think Cassidy has a little bit of desire to win. I mean, this is his fourth split. His time's ticking on how many he has left. I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's hungry. I think he's probably more hungry for it than the Meme Team 6 is.
All right. Connor, do you have anything to say about this game?
I mean, like I said, I don't know a lot about either of these two teams, but I'm gonna have to give the nod to OMF.
Okay.
Just because I played with Dunsey before, I know he's a solid player. I've watched his team play. I don't see there's same with Team Fuck this club. I don't see them dropping their games. I see them playing.
Well, you guys give way too much credit to Cassidy. He's not that good, guys. All right, really, he isn't. The support carries that team. Mikey, how do you feel about this game?
Which team went through? Was
Meme
it
Team 6 first.
Oh, okay. See, this is an interesting pick because Meme Team 6 is a pretty good top laner, and Ohana's top is pretty good. So both teams win a lot of their games from top lane, but I don't see Ohana losing this game, so I'll give it to them.
All right. BD, your thoughts? Meme Team 6 versus Ohana?
18-6. That's the one with Zelcor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Zelcor or Certified Beef play much like single target champions. The ones that can deal with Dunsey that we've seen can deal with Dunsey.
Okay.
So I give this to Ohanamin's family, unless Meme Team 6 can pull off some crazy champs that they don't normally play.
All right, Cassidy, I'm going to pose the question to you that I've posed to every other captain here so far. Why? Obviously, you're going to pick us to win this game, but why? What do you think our strongest thing against Meme Team 6 will be, and why do you think we'll win?
I don't think we have a weakness. I think you try to pick out our jungle because he was so versed to start the season, you will fail. I think if you try to camp bot lane with Ricky and Drew down there, they'll pull out some thresh lucian mechanics on you or something and make Mikey's top plays. You try to camp Spencer, he won't die. So I mean, we have too many. I think that we have too many options. So.
Putting bounties on their heads.
Yep.
Yeah, not amazing. We're not amazing at any one thing, right? We're just pretty good at everything, and it comes together, and we make a good team. I think that's what we've been like this whole.
Yeah, no, I think if there was a comparison, we'd be like Samsung White, pretty much. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a very very risky thing to say. Okay, wow, putting all that pressure on us. So there we go. That's our playoff predictions. All the way up to the conference finals for each conference. So kind of went with chalk for most of those. So it's gonna be 1 versus 2 in both conferences. If you go by our panel's decisions. So we're gonna get to your Twitch questions in about 5 or so minutes. The last thing we're gonna go to is when I was putting the show together today, I was thinking of a top 5 list because I really like doing top 5 lists, and I like presenting them to you guys. And top 5 lists I came up with are players that need to perform in the playoffs who are not captains to their teams. And like when I say need to perform, I mean if they don't perform well, I think their team's gonna crumble. Not crumble per se, but they're gonna have a bad time. So on this list, you're not gonna see anybody from Sexile because I think their team is incredibly strong throughout. Sorry, Chad, and everybody else on your team. I just think you guys are too strong for one person to matter. And I also said the same thing about our team, Ohana. I don't think it's. I think there's too many okay people. Like, if one person does bad, that's not going to crumble the whole team. So this team is going to be a little bit different. This list is going to be a little bit different. You're going to see names that about people that sometimes we don't talk about so much. And this is good. I really like this part of the show because these people need to get pointed out for their good play and how important they are to their teams. So we're going to get into that list right now. The top 5 players to watch for this upcoming playoffs. Coming in at number 5 or there's no number. These are just people listed. I just have them in bullets. So number 1, I guess. But is everyone is OP? Evan Randazza for Team Fuck This Club. He's pretty important to BD's team. He's shown that. He's a really good top laner, probably one of the best, if not the best top laner in the split right now, and it shows. And he needs to do well for your team to do well. Would you agree with that, BD?
Yeah, definitely. If Evan, we had Evan against Zelkor, who Zelkor should have won that lane, to be honest. But even then, Evan performed like he just played a safe Jarvan, and he did well in lane against Zelkor. I mean, yeah, I think Evan is definitely deserves to be on this list.
Mikey, you have anything to say about Evan being on this list? You agree with him on there, right?
Definitely, he's one of the most dynamic and volatile players in the entire league, let alone in the playoffs. So he definitely brings a lot to his team. I think he does have a weakness in getting banned out. He has a few champions that he plays at a higher level than other champions, like Gnar and Quinn. You know, signature Evan champions.
Yep.
So I'd expect him to draw a lot of bans in playoffs. And it'll be interesting to see how he handles it.
All right, Connor, you agree with Evan being on this list, correct?
Yeah, for Team Fuck This Club's make or break player, it's definitely got to be Evan. But I mean, like, no, obviously you can't list BD because he's the captain.
Yeah.
Apart from our game, the games that I know, Evan, when he does really well, he can pretty much carry the entire team.
And in games where he doesn't do so well, even when he was on the Ezreal, you guys had a tough time, BD. So that's why he made the list. Your team's crucially matters about him, and he wasn't the captain. Obviously, you're a big part of your team, but we had the no captain clause in there. Chad,
No.
Chad, how do you feel about you? You're okay with Evan being on the list, correct?
Yeah, Evan belongs on the list. Yeah.
Okay. That's top-notch analysis. Cassidy, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree. I think his biggest strength is that he brings bans away from the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's pretty crucial.
It's huge, yeah.
In a playoff
I think
game.
it puts a really, really tough decision on other players to decide whether or not they want to like focus on BD's mid lane champ pool or not. So.
All right. So there's everyone as OP. Coming in at the next spot, we have Stuffed Man from Team Rally Fortify. He's shown that he can almost, I don't want to say single-handedly carry, but he can make a huge difference in games. And when he's not playing well, the team doesn't seem to play well. And I think that's shown. And he's a really good player, and he kind of like shut you down as a team, right, Mikey? When he faced you that one game, the first game, right? Like Stuffed Man on Gnar just completely wrecked you guys, right?
Yeah, that really caught us off guard. Definitely failed at scouting that pick out. can definitely cause problems. In the second game, he played Darius and caused a lot of problems top lane. So yeah, I agree with him being on the list.
Chad or Connor, you guys have anything to say about Stuff's man in the top lane? Either one of you guys could go.
Yeah, I haven't played against him twice now, I think. I didn't see him shine particularly as a top laner, but
Okay.
like the other captains have said, it seems like whenever he does well, the rest of his team does well.
So the
I
team.
think that watching him and seeing how his performance affects the Rally Fortify, especially because TRF's my Cinderella story. I
Okay.
think that if he pulls out some good games, pumps the rest of his team up.
All right, Chad, do you have anything to say about Stuff's man in the top lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think that because Versh does do the Fuel Flare jungler thing, he doesn't provide any early like map pressure in the form of ganks. So it's really up to the lanes to survive and not get ganked. And I think that by him doing well in lane, he takes a lot of pressure off, Versh to have to be in lane when he wants to be jungling. So I think he's very big to their whole strategy that they're running, where to get rush the Feral Flare, get solo the dragon like level 6. He's very big in not to get snowballed against.
All right. For the top 5 players right now, just to speed it up, guys, I'm only going to ask you if they're in your conference, because you're not going to really know too much if they're not in your conference. Is that okay with you guys? Just so we can get the Twitch questions, because we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes already, so I want to kind of get to Twitch questions. Coming in at the third person is Barcode, David Lee. I didn't have him originally on the list, but after we talked about it as a group, we decided to put him on the list. Chad, you were very, very vocal about him getting on the list. Why do you think he is a very key person for your mom as a team?
He really anchors that team comp, I think, in his AD carry play. I think AD carries like mid to late game, them being good can make a team that might not be as good seem better, because you're gonna peel for them. You're gonna how much damage they can put out is really gonna affect whether or not you win fights or not. I think that he's very good. He's gonna need to be big if your mom's gonna have a chance to win some of these games.
All right, Connor, you've played your mom, right? Yeah. How do you feel about Dave Lee, or Barcode, as I would say?
If I recall correctly, I saw that he did pretty well against my bot lane, but it was nothing for me to be worried about.
Okay.
So, again, I'm not favoring your mom.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
maybe for your mom, he is a big player to watch. I didn't see him make any big plays against my team, but
Okay.
in the playoffs he might go ahead and do that. So we'll have to see.
All right. Mikey, how do you feel about your Dave Lee from your mom?
He was a big part in your mom's win over us. His Caitlyn is pretty good and shouldn't be taken lightly. Definitely can carry his team. I agree with him on the list.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move into the next person. The Arctic Manatee. A lot of Blue Conference people. I just kind of realized this. The Arctic Manatee Butt Potters. She might not be like the most crucial on this list, but when she has a good game, the Butt Potters are gonna win it easily. I really believe that. Connor, I feel like you have a say in how well that game's gonna go with her, because you're very good at ganking and everything. So, do you really agree with Leah on the list, or do you think maybe she gets a little bit of help and she shouldn't be on the list? What do you think?
You know what? I think that the first 2 games we played, if I remember correctly, I didn't really see any spectacular play out of Leah. I knew she was good because I played with her before, but she was just doing well. And then I think from the 3rd game to every game we've played so far, she's done really well. She's carried us games, and if she does well, it's a really good indication that we're going to do well as a team.
All right.
I would say that. Yeah, you know what? I would say Clint's another one. The Rebel one, our top laner, is another one who over the splits definitely stepped up and carried.
Okay.
I think Leah would be the one to watch.
All right. Chad, do you have anything to say about the Arctic Manatee?
I haven't played against her this split, but I have played against her mid lane when I used to play mid the last couple splits, and she's definitely, we're not just talking her up. She definitely can play. I had a couple games ago with her where I was playing Katarina, and she was able to keep up with me pretty well. So she's definitely very, very good. And I think she is important to help anchor down that mid lane for her team.
Mikey, Arctic Manatee, go. What do you think about her?
I don't really think she should be on this list because, like Connor said, I think Connor, Filthy Peasants, and Clint are both just as important and doing well. I think all three of them need to be like on point in any given game for them to win. They usually are. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think she needs to do particularly well.
Okay. I definitely thought there were more more gold conference, so I'm sorry to BD and Cassidy, but we're gonna get into the Twitch questions soon, so you guys will definitely have a chance to talk. So I'm sorry about that though. Just all right. The last person is Fartosh from the Cold Ass Honkies. I don't really think we have to go too far into this because we've already talked about how much he means to Mikey's team. He's actually very crucial to that team. He's one of the people that has to carry, and I think that's kind of obvious to most people who have seen you guys play Mikey, because when he has good games, when he destroys like his mid laner, you guys are gonna come out on top, and that's just what being a mid is. He plays champions with poke, so he can stay at a distance. He gets a very good Ziggs and Xerath player. So there's really not much to say about him, but I do feel like he is extremely important to watch. I think if he does well, your team's going to do well. Do you have anything to say about that? Do you just agree with that statement? Mikey?
Yeah, the way he performs reflects greatly on the outcome of our game, so definitely agree.
Alright. So we had a couple honorable mentions. People that were just outside the list. Suezo Tiger, support for the Big Dick Club. He's a good player, and for his team to do well, he needs to do well. So you gotta look out for him. We didn't put Christmas Eve in the list because we don't know if he's technically making the playoffs or not. So I didn't want to actually put him in the list to watch if he's not actually there. So that's why he's just on the honorable mentions. T-Slag is kind of the same thing. He's PMC's ADK, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we kind of said the same thing with T-Slag because we don't know if he's in there, but he's a great player. And also Cursed Dayman. He's done well this split, and he's making noise. So I think he's somebody to watch, and he might be able to lead that team to some victories. So that was our top 5 players to watch. That kind of wraps up the analysis part of our show, the part that we have planned. So this is where we ask Twitch. We ask you guys who are watching at home right now to ask us some questions, so that we can answer them online. I don't see any questions yet because I posted a comment. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll ask the guys here. Tell me a specific person you want me to ask the question to, because it's going to take kind of a long time for all 5 people to answer.
Who's the most inconsistent player?
Wait, do you guys see any questions? I cannot see any questions.
Pharaoh says, who is the most inconsistent player?
Who is the most inconsistent player? Does anybody have a choice for that?
Farah.
Pharaoh is?
Farah is the most inconsistent player. Just because he picked Fiora that one time.
Oh yeah, the random Fiora play. I don't really have an answer for that, to be honest.
I don't know either. It's really difficult.
It's hard to just watch there's 24 teams, so it's hard to watch every single person. So I don't think anybody would really have an answer for that.
Out of the people that I know, I'm going to have to say that I'm the most inconsistent player because, as Mikey said earlier, I am fresh.
Okay. Here's a good question from Bullet God 21. Most improved team over the split. I think that's a really good question. Do you guys have any choices for that? We'll start with Cassidy.
Just like picking out playoff teams, I think Cloud9 has really improved a lot. I mean, just like from what our game was in the beginning of the season, like I didn't think they would make the playoffs, and here I am wrong. So.
All right. So you think Cloud9? Mikey, who do you think is the most improved team over the split?
Honestly, PMC. I'd say PMC.
PMC?
Yeah.
BD, who do you think was the most
I'm
improved
gonna
team?
go with Cloud9 also. I think that they had a weak start. I think that they showed up later on in the game.
All right. I see Gumby pointing out 420 Kittens, a team that didn't make
Yeah.
the playoffs, but that's very true that they did turn the season around.
Yeah, I was gonna pick them, but they weren't in the playoffs.
Dude, you can still pick them. They still improved as a team. They still showed that.
Okay. Well, I go with Kittens because they're my boys.
Yeah, you love the Kittens. Yeah. Chad and Connor, do you guys have a team, or you just not sure?
I'm a
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm a big Your Mom fan just because I felt like they really had a tough start. They had to play against a lot of really good teams like early, and they got behind. I think they were like 2-5 at one point or 3-5 at one point. And they were able to come out 8-6. So I think that shows a lot of resilience that they were able to come out after having a really tough start.
All right. And you said PMC, right, Connor?
Yeah, I'm gonna give the nod to PMC.
Okay.
Just they crushed our nuts, so
All right.
got it working.
Okay. A question from Pharaoh is: you guys are all captains in this call, well, except for me. Are you guys planning on doing one more split of being a captain? And why do you like being a captain? Because there's a lot of difficulty in it. You get the whole drafting, the whole scheduling problem. So we'll start with Chad. Like Chad, are you gonna be a captain next split first off? And if you are, why? Why do you like being a captain?
I would say if my team wins this, does end up winning, I mean that'd be great. And if we did, I probably wouldn't captain next split just because I'd probably want to just take a step back, let other people do it because this is going to be like one of my last splits. I think I only have like one or two more after this, so it would depend a lot. Yeah, I do want to have at least one win, but it will probably be my last one if we do win. And I don't know. I like being a captain. I think that one of the things, if you look at the players who play on my team, it's nice to be able to play with like a lot of like lower elo players like Silver. And I think that when those players do play on my team, they always are better off afterwards.
Okay.
So.
All right. Connor, do you plan on captaining next split? And if so, why do you like being a captain?
This was the first split I actually captained,
Okay.
and I'd have to say that I am objectively the worst captain, and I plan on being a captain again.
Okay. All right. Mikey, you've been a captain forever, so obviously you like it. Do you plan on continuing, and why do you like it so much?
I am the winningest captain in OLS history.
God.
I plan on captaining until I die.
All right.
Or I win, but I'll probably die first.
I can agree with that.
BD, do you plan on being a captain again? If so, why do you like being a captain so much?
I really like being a captain, but I actually was going to be captain this split. Brent called me in at the last second.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I will captain as long as I can.
Okay. Cassidy, I know you only have a couple splits left, right? But you love being a captain,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I like being a captain. It lets me be in control. I hate having to listen to other people. So.
All right. We're going to get to... Maynard had a really good question. I really like this question. We're going to go right down the line and start with Cassidy. You guys can see the portraits at the bottom, right? So you know who goes after each other?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start. The question is, what are the players with the most consistent respect bans so far? And he says, in other words, who's the player with the most feared favorite champion? Cassidy, why don't you go ahead and start that? Who do you think is that most feared player on a champion?
God, that's a really tough question. I think Pharaoh's Lucian is one of them. I think God, maybe Chad's Kha'Zix, but he's up to champ pool. There's like Evans Nar and BD's Victor, Curse Damon Syndra. Actually, Balls is Fiora. I'm gonna go with Balls is Fiora. That's yeah.
Okay. I think Chad's next. Chad, most feared champion.
Definitely Connor's Diana. I know if we do play against Buff Hunters, he would not be getting Diana. I would say Mikey's Corgi has to be up there too, and Leah's Vel'Koz I'd put up there.
Okay. I think you're next, Connor. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give it to Bearded Dogs Victor versus Warwick. And I'd say those are the only two big targeted bands outside of my team that I would say that I know of.
Okay. Mikey?
Connor's Diana, Evans Nar, BD's Victor. Yeah, those are the big ones in my mind.
Alright. BD, you're the last one.
Yeah, I don't even know why you guys are saying Victor, because he like never gets banned against me. I get to play him all the time.
Well, I mean,
Totally fucking
those people might not be that smart then, BD.
It is sweet.
Like-
It is awesome. So I'm gonna call out Evans Nar. Boss is Fiora, definitely. That thing scares me.
Alright.
And Connor's Diana.
Okay. So, not very many Twitch questions tonight. I'm guessing because it was such a long show. I'm sorry for that. I told everybody it was going to be a little bit longer tonight. But the last question I kind of have, if they don't give us another one, we're going to answer 2 more at most. But it was a good question because we've run into a couple problems to split with captains, not being the best captains. Just stuff like poor stuff happening, like forfeits everywhere, teams not showing up. So, a question was asked, do you think captains should have prerequisites such as a minimum ELO or a previous split experience before they can become a captain? How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's a little too harsh? Do you think we should let people be captains who want to be captains? Or do you think we need that kind of experience for the OLS to run smoother? Cassidy, we'll just start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they should at least have played in a split so that they know what's going on. It definitely helps you understand, like, just like how much of a time commitment it is, how much like you got to put into it, because you don't only affect the people on your team, but everyone else in the OLS. So.
All right, Chad, how do you feel about that? The captain.
I think that there should be a one split of experience before you can be captain, because not only does it, not only do you understand like how games get scheduled and who everyone is, but I mean you learn who, it'll help you during like the draft, because I think one of the problems we ran into this draft was that I don't think it was like the captains who were higher ELO who like had the better teams. I think it's the people who knew how to draft and were blowing like 100 and some points for players who, for anyone really, 100 some points for like a player. I just think that those mistakes wouldn't get made by people who have a split of experience.
Okay, Connor. I mean, I know you're a new captain, but you have a lot of experience in the OLS before you became a captain. So.
Yeah, I've been here since the start. I just did this summer split. I'd say that the ELO requirement would be dumb, but I definitely agree with everyone's opinion on the one split requirement.
Okay.
Just that you get to know some people, you have some history here. People know you see how the process works. Because throwing someone who's like just joined a League of Legends club, it's like, I'm gonna be a captain, this will be great, and then they see how much of a pain in the ass it can be sometimes. I feel like it'd be really disheartening.
All right. Mikey?
I'm surprised. It sounds like a good idea, but isn't Jordan Leisinger the PMC captain and Zelkor the Meme Team 6 captain, to playoff teams? Aren't they both first-time players?
Yeah, that's incredibly true. Yes.
So I feel like, yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just every split there's always captains that mess up, and But if we start limiting captains, then we have to limit the amount of players we can let in.
Yeah.
So I think they shouldn't do that.
Okay. BD, you're the last one for this question.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Mikey. I think that if you want to be a captain, then you can be a captain. Just you should know beforehand. Somebody should tell you that this is, like, as much as for fun, like, people take it pretty seriously. So
Someone should tell you
No.
to do it.
yeah, like, know how the draft works and, like, get some info. Maybe even have, like, a couple friends who are in the draft who you, like, have plans for drafting or something. Except don't do a Sean Myers and, like, only draft your friends. That was incredibly stupid.
Alright, so we're going to move on to the last question. It's kind of a two-parter because it's kind of like they don't go together very much, but here's what it is. Okay, I blanked on his name. Evan. Evan asked, do you think that the league is oversaturated with teams? Do you think we have too many teams? It's a perfectly valid question. I expect a little bit of debate there. And also, Gumby asked who you think the season MVP was. So you don't have to explain the MVP, but I want you to talk about the saturation of teams. BD, we're going to start with you, and we're going to go the opposite way this time. So how do you feel about A, who should be the MVP of the league this year, or the split, and B, do you think the league was oversaturated with players and teams, the split?
I'm going to answer the second question first because I need to think about MVP.
Okay.
No, I think that the number of teams is fine. I think that as many players as we can fit in, we should. I think it's great to have more people playing League and to have a community form around it. I don't think it's oversaturated.
Okay.
MVP.
We can come back to you on the MVP. If you,
Yeah,
okay.
I need time to think about that.
All right. Mikey,
I agree with everything BD just said.
no MVP vote? That was...
No, I don't think there's an MVP.
You
You're
don't-
all special.
everyone's special?
Just kidding, it's me.
Okay. Connor, what do you feel about? How do you feel about the saturation of teams? If you think there is a saturation of teams, and the MVP, of course.
I
If you,
think we may need to split off into 2 separate leagues.
okay.
Overhead, and the club would definitely need to make some changes before something like that would be possible.
Okay. All right.
And as for MVP, I am gonna say everyone was terrible, so no.
Okay, no. All right. Chad, how do you feel about the idea of league saturation in the MVP?
Chad has very deep thoughts.
I think we lost Chad again.
He's deep in thought.
Cassidy, you want to take you
Yeah,
want to take the
sure.
question? Okay.
I don't really know about the oversaturation, but anyway, my MVP, I would definitely say, is Connor. I just think that he took a team that I did not expect to go 12-2, and got them through it. I honestly think Leia's a lot better this split than she has been before, and yeah, he took that team to new levels.
Well,
Uh,
thank you.
I mean, I'm going to answer for Chad. I mean, because we need 5 people to answer.
Do you like a Chad voice?
Yeah, well, no. Okay, well, I'm really happy Chad's not here because I'm about to inflate his ego so much. I think Chad is the MVP of this split. Like, honestly, I think he did such a great job. A, he drafted an amazing team. I don't know how you guys fucked that up and let him get that team, but that's all your guys' faults. B, he moved to the jungle, which he wasn't known for at all, and he's killing it. Like, he's doing so well. And, like, I mean, like, yeah, he's easy, yeah, he's Gumby, but he gets those lanes ahead. It's not like he's sitting in the jungle farming the whole game. He's proactively making it, like, so that he's the reason, he's a really huge reason why that team's doing so well. And we've already went through this, that they're easily, if we believe that they are the best or the top two teams in the league. So I think he's doing really good. And, and then on top of that, he has a girlfriend and he's in law school. So, like, how can you not be the MVP of that, right? And with that, everyone, thanks for joining us tonight on episode 3 of Ace. I know it was a super long episode, but I really wanted to talk to these people. These are great captains. They're great people, and I really appreciate you guys for joining me tonight.
Great people.
Okay, you're great people. You guys made me laugh. I liked it. Tune in next week. We're gonna have episode 4, playoff breakdown, playoff predictions again, and we're gonna have a new people in. But I really just appreciate you guys for joining us, and hopefully you come back next week to watch again. I'll be putting this up on YouTube tonight. I'll post in the Facebook group, the VOD, and all that stuff. So look for that if you're into that kind of stuff. Once again, it was about an hour and 40 minutes, so I'm sorry it went a little bit longer. Next week we'll be back to our normal hour show. Thanks again to the captains for joining us, and every team in the playoff, just go out this week and show up and do well. I know you guys can. We're very, very good teams everywhere. Hope to see some upsets. And then also PMC and Cold House Honeys, please get your fucking game in tomorrow so that doesn't mess anything up. Because I think last split we had like something get real messed up because people didn't play. So I don't want that to happen again. And the race for RP is on. So that's all I gotta say, really. You guys have anything to say at the end of the show?
Aloha.
Aloha. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your guys' bye weeks. Except for Mikey, you're gonna play and you're probably gonna get dumpstered. All right, see you guys. Thanks for watching.